Hey, welcome back to Ayurveda, the Science of Life. We're in session 2 and we are doing a deep dive on the 5 elements. I'm Nicole. Happy you're here. So today we move from understanding into experience. In the last session, we introduced the idea that everything is made of the 5 elements. Today we slow that down. We bring it into the body. Because Ayurveda is not meant to live in your intellect. It's meant to be felt. These elements are not abstract forces somewhere out in the universe. They are expressing themselves through you right now. And once you begin to feel them, you begin to understand yourself in a completely different way. So, why do these elements matter? Well, everything in Ayurveda comes back to the elements. Every dosha, every imbalance, every recommendation, everything. If you understand the elements, you understand the language of the system. Because Ayurveda doesn't think in diagnoses. It thinks in qualities. It asks, what is present here? Is there too much heat? Is there too much movement? Is there too much heaviness? And when you begin to see your life through that lens, the complexity actually starts to simplify, becomes so much easier for you. So, what do we mean by qualities when we're speaking in Ayurveda? Well, it is a science of qualities. Hot or cold, dry or moist, light or heavy, mobile or stable. These qualities are how the elements express themselves. And this is very important because you don't need a textbook to recognize a quality. You can feel it. You know when something feels heavy. You know when your mind is moving too fast. This is where awareness begins. So let's go back to those elements and begin with Akasha. We begin with Akasha as space. And I was very particular to use a graphic here that wasn't just outer space. You see that so often. What I want you to feel with Akasha is the whiteboard behind the elements. In other words, the space between the leaves. Look at this picture. You see the sky beyond, the space between. Space is actually the container. You could not see the tree without it. In this field, everything arises. Without space, nothing else can exist. In the Upanishad, space is described as the first expression of form emerging from the infinite. In your body, it's cavities and openness. In your life, it's your capacity to expand, to allow, to receive. Too much space feels like disconnection. Too little feels like compression. So even here, balance is everything. So how about Akasha in you, space in you? Notice where you experience the space in your life. Moments where you might feel scattered, ungrounded, like your energy is dispersed. That's excess space. And then notice the opposite, when you might feel tight or overwhelmed, where you feel like there's no room to breathe. That's the lack of space. This is how Ayurveda becomes personal, not by memorizing, but by noticing. Let's move into the next element, Vayu, air. Again, I wanted you to see this in a different way. Vayu also means movement. From space comes movement. Vayu is the principle of motion. It governs breath, circulation, nerve impulses, thought. Wherever there is movement, there is Vayu, just like these wild horses running. And in our modern world, this is one of the most aggravated elements we find. So how do we find it? How do we find that aggravated Vayu in you? Well, when it's balanced, you feel creative, light, and inspired. But when it's excessive, you feel anxious, restless, scattered, you're overthinking. When it's depleted, you can feel stuck, dull, unmoving. So Vayu is not necessarily good or bad. It's simply movement. And your experience depends upon its balance. So what's interesting is there is a really cool story about the wind god Vayu in Vedic tradition. Wind is invisible yet powerful. And in the Upanishads, when the gods began to argue about who was the most powerful, Agni says, hey, I can burn anything. And Vayu says, I can move anything. But when they are tested by the divine, they discover something humbling, both of them. They cannot burn or even move a single blade of grass without the presence of something greater. You know what that something greater is. The lesson for these gods was simple. Movement feels powerful, but it's not independent. In your life, when your mind is racing, when the nervous system is activated, it feels like it has control, but it is simply a force moving through you, and you can learn to observe it instead of being carried by it. About Agni, that is fire. Agni is also transformation. It is the force that converts one thing into another, food into energy, experience into understanding. Without Agni, nothing is processed. So how about Agni in us? Balanced Agni can feel like clarity. You digest well, you think clearly, you act with purpose. Excess Agni can feel like intensity and anger, irritation, inflammation, burnout. Low Agni feels like stagnation, particularly for Pitta people. Slow digestion, brain fog, low energy. When something feels off, we often look to the Agni first. How are we transforming things in our life? So there's also a story about the god Agni. Agni in the Vedas is considered sacred. Fire was the medium through which offerings were made to the divine. Whatever was placed into the fire was transformed. And this is exactly what's happening in your body. Everything you take in must pass through your internal fire. And if that fire is weak or excessive, the transformation becomes distorted. So Agni is not just digestion. It is your relationship with transformation itself. So now we move on to the next element, which is Jala. Jala is water. You've heard me say this. Water is cohesion. It allows things to bind, to connect, and to flow. You will find it in your blood, your lymph, and in your emotional body. How about Jala in you? Balanced, Jala feels like nourishment, friendship, connection, emotional flow. Too much water can feel like heaviness, attachment, stagnation. Too little can feel like dryness, disconnection, and emotional distance. Water teaches us about relationships. There's a beautiful Jala story. Varuna, the god of water, is associated with depth, with the vastness of the ocean. There is a quiet wisdom in water. It can be soft, and still it will reshape a mountain. It can flow, or it can become stagnant. And this is true emotionally as well. When emotions are allowed to move, they remain healthy. When they are held, they become heavy. Water shows us that flow is not weakness. Flow is intelligence. Now we shall move on to earth. Prithvi. Earth is structure. It is the most dense and the most stable, and also the most grounded element. How about earth in you? Balanced earth feels like stability. You feel grounded, supported, steady. Too much earth can feel heavy, resistant, stuck. Too little feels unstable, scattered, unrooted. So earth gives you form, but it must remain flexible. This is why we show the muscle here and the skeleton, the bones of you. You know, there's a beautiful story about Prithvi, an epic story actually. In Vedic tradition, the earth is not just matter, it is sacred. Prithvi is the great mother. She holds everything, supports everything, sustains everything. Mountains rise from her and forests grow from her, and yet she remains steady. There is an epic quality to earth, a quiet strength, not forceful, but unwavering. And when you feel grounded, when you feel supported, that is Prithvi within you. So with the elements, they are always interacting. These elements never exist in isolation. They're always interacting with each other. They are the fabric of the universe, and they are always influencing each other. That interaction is what creates your experience in the world. So here's the thing, in real life, cold weather increases cold. Dry food increases dryness. Stress will increase movement, and they're not random effects, they're predictable patterns. So let's do a little thing. Let's do an element scan. Let's bring it into experience. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. You can also keep them open and just watch the screen. I want you to feel your body. Where do you feel movement? Where do you feel heat? Where do you feel heaviness? Or maybe lightness? Don't analyze, just notice. The noticing is the beginning of the practicing of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is not knowledge. Ayurveda is awareness. Once you can feel the elements, you can begin to work with them. You can shift your state. You can be like my little kitty cat friend here on the high wire, a Zen master, by noticing and shifting state. Ayurveda is not something that you're going to memorize. It is something that you're going to observe daily. In the next session, we're going to take these elements and we'll show you how they organize into your unique constitution. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next session.